Welcome, traveler, to the Society of BS. I'm Christine.
And I'm Seleena.
Tonight's episode is an open transmission. No planned segments, no rigid format.
The channel's open, the signal's a little unstable, and we're letting the conversation go wherever it wants.
We're sharing stories, following tangents, and talking through whatever comes through the static. This transmission, into the liminal.
Okay, have you ever heard of liminal spaces?
No, not since we decided this was going to be a topic for our podcast.
Right.
In fact, I'm still a little confused about it.
So let's start with the definition of what a liminal space is.
Okay.
This is according to Google. A liminal space is a transitional area or state from the Latin word for threshold, representing the ambiguous, unsettling, or transformative period between what was and what's next. Like hallways, airports, adolescence, evoking feelings of unease, nostalgia, or potential. So it can be a physical place, empty corridors, or psychological state, existing as a bridge between two defined points, often feeling surreal or empty when devoid of its usual purpose or people.
Okay.
So does that make sense to you? Do you understand, maybe?
I get it. I mean, after kind of like talking about it a little bit more, I might be able to be like, that is one for sure and that is not one for sure.
Right. So essentially, the key aspects of what a liminal space is, you want it to feel like some sort of transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like something that's between other places or in between of like a school with no kids. It has a purpose, but it's nothing. It has to have some sort of psychological discomfort associated with it. So it triggers some sort of feeling of anxiety or alienation or uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not like set in stone sorts of things. It's really vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, generally, there's an aspect of some sort of eerie aesthetic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just feels off.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, some examples could be like hallways, stairwells, airports, waiting rooms, deserted highways.
So the one that kind of hit me, and I was kind of like, okay, I remember this happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to a training in Iowa.
Okay.
Never been to Iowa to begin with. We land at night, so the airport seems the way it's empty. There's no one.
Is it a small airport?
Small airport,
Mm-hmm.
empty. The way that it was designed seemed very kind of old, 70s-esque.
Okay, yeah.
So that was kind of weird.
Okay.
And then I felt like I was the only one going to get a rental car.
So it was even more empty?
Yeah, so it was even more empty when I went to go to the rental car. And there was only like one person at the rental car desks. So when I went to get my rental car, I walked outside, and all you see are the lights that are like the street lamps.
Uh-huh.
No one else out there. And it was kind of snowy. So you can't really see out in the distance. You only see what the lamp lights are, those lights are showing you. And it's like snow, and I'm not used to snow and the dark, and then having to find my car. So yeah, that one felt kind of weird.
Eerie,
Mm-hmm.
like an in-between space, like you shouldn't be there almost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like something out of a horror film, but not quite, because it's like people like to think of it like pocket dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where
Mm-hmm.
it's just a feeling like you're not in this world anymore, you're somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and I think traveling to new places that you're not really aware of kind of feels that way sometimes, especially if there's no one else around. Like you arrive there at night, you're like,
where am I?
Now what?
Yeah, I know you haven't heard of this, but the backrooms, which was a huge phenomenon, it's been some years now, and every once in a while it'll still come up. But so it was this video game that people developed, and essentially, like the lore behind it was that somebody got sucked in through like a portal or something. So essentially, they would be like in an old abandoned office building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they like walk through a door, and suddenly they're in this like this completely abandoned like office space.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's kind of like you said, kind of got that 70s vibe where it's kind of yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And like dingy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like there's a bunch of hallways and a bunch of rooms and doors that they can go through, but none of it that leads out anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like forever trapped in this liminal space. So that's like a really good example of like the concept taken to like the extreme. So like if you see this is a picture here, I will put it on the Instagram, but so it's just like an empty room. So this would be kind of what it looks like.
I can describe the room a little bit. If you're looking at it, it looks like you're looking into the door. It almost has like a fishbowl effect looking, because it looks like the illusion that the ceiling's going down as you look back into the room.
Fluorescent
lighting. The walls are like those wooden slabs,
like from the 70s.
The slats, yeah, the wooden slats from the 70s, and it's like this light beige color. And there's only 2 fluorescent lights in there on the ceiling. Think like an office space or like a classroom, those fluorescent lights. I can't tell, is that a window in the back?
No, I think it's like one of them AC units.
Okay, and then there's like this old school looking couch. It's got this plaid design, and it's like white and brown. It's just, and the carpet looks it just looks green, and it's not even carpet. I mean, what would you like, office room carpet? It's just,
yeah, like 70s green carpet.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So this is the actual like game people would play, but you see how it's got like that 70s like wallpaper. And you would essentially roam endlessly. And then there are some of the backrooms games that have some sort of creature that's stalking you in this area.
Oof. Well, and then you see it's like the traditional ceiling tiles that are in a lot of office buildings.
Yeah, those rectangles that you slot in.
They look like corkboard almost.
Yeah, that are in between the fluorescent light. I think there's something about fluorescent lights that make things feel liminal. I don't know if it's just that it's just sort of off. But yeah, no, I think lights are kind of like the big thing. Like it's things that are just empty. But if you notice, if you go onto Reddit, there's this thread called r/liminal space, and there's like a bunch of pictures there where they have a bunch of different images of liminal spaces that people post it and be like, hey, what do you think, this feels liminal? And I feel like a majority of these have those like wall tiles and fluorescent lights.
Yeah, and it is a lot. I think we could probably look into this, but I bet horror movies use liminal spaces just to like invoke that uneasy feeling, right? Of something is like, it feels like something's about to happen.
You know what? When I think of liminal space, where my brain goes to, do you remember Alcon, like the mall before they tore it down and now it's like an outside shopping thing or whatever? Do you remember how it used to be an inside and it would like progressively get more and more empty?
Yep.
Do you remember how it was just kind of like you see all like the mall stuff in there, and it was like 90s design inside of it, and it was very empty all the time?
Yep.
That to me, when I think of liminal space, my brain goes to that space.
Like an abandoned mall.
Yeah, like an abandoned mall. But it wasn't abandoned yet. That's the thing.
Yeah, because there's still some stores in there.
Yeah, but then you'd have like those little like things in the middle, like that used to be like
the kiosks.
Yeah, the kiosk that used to be like a Miss Fields or something like that, and it's just like empty, and it's just, you're just kind of like sitting there. There's like seats and stuff, and you just kind of stare at it and just like I kind of like spaces like that where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't like a lot of people around, but I don't know. There's something that always feels like you could, like when you're a kid and you want to play, like you can really explore. Like, I don't know. And then I
like
feel
no limitations, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so one of this images that were pulled up here is now like a movie theater. It's like a really tiny, long hallway kind of movie theater with like
empty, like red velvet seats, almost
like dusty and like that. I don't know. What would you say? You get an eerie feeling here, like in a movie theater when there's nobody around?
I think, period, when you walk into a movie theater and there's no one, you're the only one in the movie theater. It's kind of like, this is kind of cool.
Like when the movie's playing, or what about when it ends?
Like when you first enter the theater and you're the only one in the theater, or like just you and whoever you're with are the only ones in the theater, it just kind of feels weird.
Right.
But it also kind of is like, cool, we're going to be the only ones in here. But it's just that weird kind of
that it feels like uneasy. Like, why are we the only ones in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember too, there was one time me, my husband, my cousin, and her friend, we stayed like long past a movie. Like we literally stayed in the theater and we were just talking, and it was one of the last movie showings of the night. So we were there just sitting in the movie theater talking, and then we finally leave the movie theater and nobody's there, like completely abandoned, completely empty, like everybody had left for the day. And so then we walk out into the mall and there's those little kiddie rides, and they're like playing like music into this empty, like you hear echoing throughout the mall. That was pretty creepy and pretty liminal, I think.
Yeah, I could see how that is, especially any of those little toys or things that go off.
Right.
And there's like nothing around and it's kind of closed. I would say like the same would be something like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah, a Chuck E. Cheese with nobody in it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? All the games are just there, they're off.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's why that makes Five Nights at Freddy's so popular.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen Five Nights at Freddy's, like the first one?
I haven't seen the movie, but I've played the game.
You've played the game?
I have.
The first one?
I think you guys made me play the game, actually.
Yeah, that one's fun. I have that one on my computer. Yeah, that one's fun. I remember when it first came out, because again, it still is a huge deal, but it was the biggest thing where, like, that of all things I think felt really liminal, because you're in this pizzeria, which is supposed to be happy, supposed to be kid-like, and it's just empty and abandoned, and you're staring at all these empty places, and then you have haunted animatronics coming after you on top of that.
And I think too, does it go back to the thought of being alone, right?
Maybe, yeah,
because
I can see that.
I think having to face anything alone is a fear for a lot of people. So I think going into these spaces alone, number one, then seeing like unknown, right? You don't know what or why things are the way they are.
So on the topic of being alone, you know what I think it is? Have you ever had like an existential crisis?
Daily?
Yeah, but have you ever had that feeling, right? Where you're like, or maybe you're like in the mirror and you're just like, this is me, this is real life, like this is what I'm made of kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. I think that's what these liminal spaces make you feel, like existential for some reason. Like, this is real. Are we sure this is real? Like, this is real life.
Yeah.
Video game glitch kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's really what triggers that liminal space.
Well, and it's just interesting, right? Well, it's an interesting concept because I'm having an existential moment just talking about it, because like I don't never heard of it, never thought about it, but you have like all of this knowledge in it, and obviously there's like these lists of people with thousands of likes on it who are talking about liminal spaces. So I'm like, I feel like I'm in a liminal space right now.
just experiencing the different liminal spaces.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, this is interesting. The warehouse, IKEA, I was gonna say was another one.
Oh yeah, IKEA warehouse. Any kind of warehouse, I think. Can you imagine like a Home Depot at night? That would probably be very liminal.
Just being like someone to open or close a store, I'm sure would also feel like...
Oh, like the daycare, you know, we had talked about this in a previous episode, the haunted daycare. I think that felt very liminal, especially at night. Like and I don't know, again, because there are plenty of other daycares that we've been in, but there was something about that one that just felt different. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Recently when we went to DC, we went to the subway, and we went from one area that was just filled with people to another area that was just like empty. At a stop that was just empty, so that was kind of weird too.
I would think garage, what are they called?
Parking garages?
Parking garages, yeah. Especially without any cars in them, like just empty at night, especially with that echo when you're walking through it. Yeah. I feel like those would be very liminal. But I think it's interesting because like a lot of people like to like create stories based on it and create like I said, the backrooms is one of those big ones. But here's one from Reddit. It's called Rare-Bird 8714. And they said, when I was about 5 years old, I think I visited the backrooms in a dream. I've actually been putting it together in my head for a couple of days. I had a little brother that passed away in a traumatic way when I was 4. So in my little mind, I thought I might find him in my dreams. One night as I slept, I jumped into this hallway that resembled my father's office. The familiar setting of what felt like Dad's workplace faded away as soon as I walked the dimly lit passage. Light was streaming in and there was a carpet on the floor. Soon I found myself in a white hallway. It felt cold. The lights were bright in the hallway, but the room seemed dark. I peered around one corner and saw 2 men talking. They were sitting at what could be compared to an air traffic control command center. Big windows for outside observation and joysticks, buttons and scanners. But this was 1987. I'm not sure I knew what I was looking at the time, nor did I have the words to describe it to my dad the next morning. It's only now, at 42, that I'm putting the pieces together about this dream. Such a vivid recollection all these years later. After observing the control room and people talking and laughing among themselves, I continued sneaking down the hallway. I walked by different rooms that were all very similar themed control centers, but the last room I had people gathered at a table looking at maps. Finally, I gathered my courage and peered around the door frame in the next room. I asked the people a question. What is this place? The people dressed in lab coats and spectacles turned and glared at me. One of the men yelled, How'd you get in here? You're not supposed to be in here. 4 or 5 adults stood up from the table and began walking toward me. I turned tail and ran. I ran so fast my feet were kicking my butt. As I ran down the hall, more people in lab coats poured from the rooms to survey the commotion. The faster I ran, the more their voices trailed off. I re-emerged on the carpeted hallway and hid in a dark closet, praying. I woke up in a sweaty panic, safe in my bed. So have you ever had a dream like that?
Oh, yeah. Of like just where kind of like I'm like in somewhere observing more so than like being part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden people notice me, that I'm there. And yeah, definitely, for sure. Except for sometimes I can't run. I'm like trying to run. I can't run. I'm like, great.
Yeah, so I think that's like a good example of maybe it's also very dreamlike, like the spaces, like you could be in a dream, and maybe that's where our brain sees this space and sort of glitches. And I know you've never thought about the concept before, but you said yourself when you were in Iowa it felt off.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's one of those things where you feel like you could be in a dream.
This is true. I would very much so compare it to that, is because I've had dreams where things happen like this and it's really weird, but then so when you feel it and you walk into the space, you're like, this feels like a dream.
Or like deja vu or something. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. I always found this concept very interesting because it's just, to me, it's like otherworldly. And so, I don't know, I've been more cognizant, aware whenever I'm going places. If I'm in somewhere that's empty, I'm just like, liminal space, right here. And I feel now that I've pointed out, you're probably going to see it everywhere.
And I'll probably notice it a lot more. Like a picture that she just scrolled upon is like a dark hallway, but has like, again, just little lights along the way. So it's where it's kind of like only lighting up parts of it. So you see shadows through the hallway.
So it's like low lighted things, right? Yeah. Office buildings seem to be the main one that, oh, look at this one's a pool.
Oh, that one gives me the creeps.
Yeah. This one is like you're staring down into a really dark pool, and like the top you can see very little light, but then it goes into this deep dark void in the water. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I feel like there's not enough like horror things in pools, because I feel like in a hotel pool, have you ever been into one at night where like nobody's there but you're swimming and it's just empty?
Probably.
I feel like that could be also like liminal.
Yeah. Yeah, again with the fear of pools, like we talked about in our last episode, about like being in the water and thinking something's in the pool, because I think water can create an illusion of being bigger, even though it's not. And especially at night, if you can't see into the water and you can't really touch the bottom or the floor and you're kind of swimming, it's kind of like unknown.
I wonder if it's
just spaces.
It's also kind of like a sensory deprivation kind of experience. And maybe that's also why liminal spaces really like psychologically get to people.
Like you're trying to fill the space in your head of whatever's missing. Like,
have you ever heard of like people who do sensory deprivation tanks and things that? And that concept to me has always scared me, because I know my brain is scary.
Same. My brother-in-law was talking and he did it and he's like, it was amazing. And I've heard people say like it's amazing, but I just don't want to sit in a spot like that, especially in the water, because that's one of my fears. And then be alone with my brain. Like I'm claustrophobic. So I just
it hits every single one of those fears, I think. But I would think those are probably like if you want to talk liminal, number one space, that's liminal space. And so I think part of this is probably sensory deprivation and just the lack of exposure to things. Like there's no people, there's no decorations, it's very minimal. And again, dreamlike. And so I think, like I said, I think if we were to do a sensory deprivation, I think that's what we would feel, kind of out of body and dream like and that scares me. I don't know if I'd ever do it. Like part of me thinks, okay, just do it once just to get the experience, just to see what it's like, but I'm also afraid that I would freak out.
Yeah, like have a panic attack. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. That's why I haven't tried it or done it, because of that reason. Like I'm afraid I'm gonna have some kind of panic attack or something's gonna happen while I'm in there, and then what if I can't get out? But they're like, it's fine, you have someone there, they're watching you, it's good. And I'm like, no, I'm good. What if they don't?
I feel like, okay,
I think of a Final Destination.
I think I'd have to work myself up to it, right? Like maybe do it for like a minute, and then okay, next time do it for like 2 minutes.
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, kind of ease into it.
When I see those things, I think of Stranger Things.
Which part of Stranger Things?
Well, just how she travels in the water.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't give you any kind of spoilers. Like, I'm not going to give a spoiler, but that's how she travels through things.
I do remember, I think that was from the second season where she was like in a bathtub or something.
Yeah, they start showing like how other things, I think first season too, maybe. I don't know. Either way, it just shows, it's like a deprivation tank.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty, like, that's what I think about when I think about those things.
And I think it all harkens back to the brain, like we were talking about again in our last episode, where we were talking about the whole Bloody Mary thing, where you're looking in the mirror and you're expecting to see something, so you see something. And so I think that's what's so creepy about sensory deprivation, about liminal spaces, is there's nothing, they're dimly lit, so your brain is trying to make sense of something, and it's not computing.
Right. It's like, what is this?
But anyway, so what did you think?
I mean, it's definitely interesting. I would probably look at the Reddit page once just to see all these things, and then probably not talk about it again.
Because it gives you an uncomfortable feeling?
That, and then I think now that we're talking about it, my algorithm's probably going to pull up some of these things. It's pretty cool to look at, I'm being honest. Like, it's kind of creepy, but kind of cool. Just kind of, like, again, it evokes these weird sensations where you're just like, what is this? I think, like, there's some images where you can't see past, like when it's really foggy or something. I could kind of compare it to one time I was staying in downtown San Francisco on like the 16th floor. No, it was higher than that.
Oh, gosh.
Something really high. So we were kind of like above the clouds. So we were seeing some of the, not monuments, but like the buildings. Well, they have the bridge and everything, but it felt dreamlike because we were like above the clouds, but there were clouds above us as well, and then you can see buildings and you can see the
so
bridge.
Weird.
It was crazy. I was just looking at it.
I don't think I've ever been above, like, I can't even think of the highest, like 5 stories.
Really?
Maybe. I'm trying to think of like the highest I've been in a hotel. It's really not been that tall.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I think it was a 16th floor.
I'm trying to think of like one time.
What about buildings? Have you been in any like really tall buildings before?
I don't think so. Look, I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't necessarily like them.
Yeah, it's a kind of crazy concept because we had an office downtown, and I think it was on the 21st floor for you to go up to, and just the thought of going to the 21st floor in an elevator. I
don't know, the idea of when like the buildings shake kind of scare me. Like feeling it move like that. Yep. That scares me. Although like too, like I think of like the Ferris wheels and like going, not just because obviously I've been on the one in Disneyland and the one that moves in Disneyland. I'm like the loudest on that ride because those ones creep me out. Yeah. Especially when it moves back and you're staring straight down.
That's so much fun. I love that one.
Oh God, I hate it and I love it at the same time.
Yeah.
But again, I've seen the ones in like Vegas that go really, really, really high. I'm just like, no, I could never.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to
so maybe I am afraid of heights.
Right, I am too, but like, face your fears, right? The logic brain comes in, and if she dies, she dies. But I've been to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the 221st floor. So that's crazy.
Do you feel the building sway?
Yes. What's crazy is going up in the elevator because there's nothing underneath you. That's what freaks me out. Is going up all of these floors.
Wait, like, is it a glass elevator?
No, heck no. Like, no, you're not in a glass. So in fact, it's playing a movie while you're in there. So that's kind of distracting, knowing that you're in an elevator.
How long does it take you to get up there?
I feel like it took like 5 minutes.
Just to get up?
To get all the way up there. And
that's actually not that.
5 to 10 minutes.
Does it feel like you're whooshing like really fast?
Not really fast, but I would say like a normal kind of elevator, kind of just going up, maybe a little bit faster than a normal elevator. And it's playing a story. It's playing like a video on the walls, and it's like telling you at this height, you're at this tower, and at this, like all the big skyscrapers in the world. It's telling you.
Oh, it's explaining as you're going.
At this height, and here you're at this.
Wait. Did you say you can look out?
So when you get to the 200 and
like the elevator, floor, like can you see outside as you're going?
Not the elevator. Once you get into the Burj, once you get to the floor, you can go out, and it's windows all around. So then you can go out and see how high up you are. And that kind of feels surreal.
And it sways.
I feel like it was, but not like you think. Like, it's not noticeable. Like, if you're really standing there trying to think about it, you could probably like see that it has some kind
And
of
you
movement.
look down, can you see anything?
It looks like you're looking at little Legos. Everything looks like little Legos.
Oh, weird.
It's really crazy, and you can see it like kind of far out, and people skydive from up there, which is kind of crazy. And
well, I mean, how is that any different from being in like a plane?
Yeah, that's true. And then I've also been to the Willis Tower.
What is the Willis Tower?
It's in Chicago.
Is it also?
It's also a really high.
I'm assuming it's shorter than the Burj Khalifa.
It is. So I can tell you. I'll tell you how many floors are.
Have you ever been to New York in the Empire State Building?
I have not been to New York yet.
Have you been to New York at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
Okay, sorry, I lied. My bad.
It's crazy to me that you've been to Dubai before you've been to New York.
It felt like 200 stories. It's not. The Burj Khalifa is 163 floors, 200 levels, or 200 levels of housing, offices, hotels, observation decks. So where did we go?
How does that compare to like the Grand Canyon in depth? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Because I always think about like that glass bridge on the Grand Canyon. Have you ever been on that?
No.
Would you ever go on that?
Yes, because I went to the glass floor. That's what I was talking about, the Willis Tower. As I'm trying to figure out
there's a glass floor on the Willis Tower. This is obviously a tangent. That's nothing about liminal spaces,
it's not. But it kind of feels like it when you're up there. Okay, the 148th floor is called At the Top. So that's where we went. But it feels like 200 floors.
And there's a glass.
No, this is Dubai. So Dubai was 148th floor.
Okay.
You could go to even higher, the 154th floor, but you have to pay more money to go to that, and I wasn't going to pay that. So it's called At the Top in Dubai is where we went. And then Willis Tower has glass floors.
On all floors or just the top floor?
So just the one where everybody goes to. And I'm trying to see what floor it's on. Because you go into a glass box, actually. It's not just a glass floor, it's a glass box.
That's
and I can show you.
Terrifying.
I'll show you, and you can look it up.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
It's like vertigo. When you step on that, like I crawled on the thing to go on it because you're literally looking down into the city.
Who was with you?
I was at this training, and I met this other girl in the training class, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to Chicago. Do you want to go to Chicago?" And I was like, "Heck yeah." Because it was like about an hour away from where our training was. Is on what floor? So I'm still searching what floor it is. And so we went.
I want to look up a video of this.
The 103rd floor.
Did you take pictures?
I do. I have lots of pictures. I can show you pictures, and I can post them too for me at the Burj Khalifa, and then also at the Willis Tower. And I took a picture of looking down at the floor. It is.
Did you stand up eventually?
Oh yeah. I finally stood up, and I finally took pictures.
It?
No, the first step off of that, Seleena, is insane because you're like stepping out onto this glass floor, but all you see is just like the bottom of the city, like nothingness. That's crazy,
terrifying.
Mm-hmm. There's another place. I don't know which high tower or what building it is.
Just to give you,
they lean you out and they bring you back in.
Just to give you an example of how terrifying this would be for me. Do you know, in Phoenix they have like Dave and Buster's, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know those little things where you can climb, like you can like put in a harness and walk around.
Yeah.
That terrified me.
So then you would be extremely terrified at the.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the Willis Tower, it's not like, again, I went higher when we were at in Dubai, the 146th floor, whatever we just found out. I already forgot what floor it was. But anyways, so I've been higher, but still the 103rd floor, it's only 40 stories shorter.
But you're standing on nothing.
You're standing on
glass.
You're standing on glass.
That's infinitely more terrifying.
People get in there and jump. And
wait, off of that glass?
Not off the glass, in the glass. Like they're in the glass box, and I see people jumping.
You know, it'd be a nightmare walking into that glass and then just like it removed from underneath you and you just fall.
Mm-hmm. Or like, what if you're up there and there's like an earthquake?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so many crazy, like all these things.
I would jump.
I thought all the worst things, like of all the things in both towers. Like all I could think about was when we're in the elevator going up in the Burj. Like, what if it stops? What if it falls? What if it malfunctions? Like, those are just all the things I could think of going in these. That's honestly what I go up when we're going to the 20th floor. I think those things.
It's funny because we're not even talking about childhood fears anymore, but I feel like this is like childhood fears.
That's true. It's kind of like linked into it. But I'm saying is like being up there feels like a liminal space.
I would imagine because it's another one of those things.
Surreal.
Yeah, surreal. I think that's a perfect word to describe liminal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you ever get a chance to check those 2 things out, they're really cool. Willis Tower and the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Definitely crazy experiences. If you're afraid of heights, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but you're safe, right?
You would think. I don't know, man. Part of me's like, it's one of those things where like I'd want to try it maybe once, but also I don't know if being there faced with it, if I could make myself do it. Like I might be able to like lean back and put a foot there. And then like,
so what do you think, audience, of making Seleena go do these heights and things like that? She's gonna make me play the video games. We'll make her go to these tall buildings.
You're gonna scare me. I'm gonna scare you right back.
Tit for tat.
Oh my god, I would die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have a heart attack up there. You're gonna have to resuscitate me.
You come back to life.
Right? Then you have to go into another heart attack immediately.
Oh, well, if you get a chance, go check out Reddit r/liminal space. It's pretty crazy. You could see it. We could probably post them on the Instagram of Spaces and create things, and of course some pictures of the heights that I've gone to.
Yeah, I feel like we should now, when we're out and about, we should find the liminal spaces, take photos, and then tag them in and on our Instagram. Be like, look, found one.
Oh yeah, and if you have some, send them our way too. Tag us in it, send it. We're excited to see it. If you've got theories or secrets of your own, send them to us on Instagram at Society of BS, or tag #Society of BS, or #OpenTransmission so the others can find you. Thank you for joining us here at A Beautiful Sunday Podcast. I'm Kristin.
And I'm Seleena.
This is another tale for the archives. Heart open, mind odd, sun high.
And if there's something lingering after the credits, you might be lost in transmission.